Welcome, 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 everyone. We've got a pretty original idea and thought and great race for you tonight from the Slingshot Sim Racing Network. I'm going to be your host for tonight, John Ross. And like I said, we have something pretty special. We have what we call a league versus league showdown, or the league showdown, if you will. And what that means for us is that we have four leagues from the iRacing service, and that would be SSR, Mars, ORL, and Front Row that will be competing against each other. And we're going to do this for 5 races the first week of each month outside of this race. So, we are going to start tonight at Daytona. We are in the trucks. We're going to be in the trucks for all 5 races of this series. And essentially the concept come about as, other leagues around the service reached out to each other and said, what would be nice? What would be fun would be to get everybody together and just have a good night of racing. Put the leagues together, meet each other inside of the leagues. You get to work with each other, see what's going on, get to really talk to some of the people that you compete with each week, and now they become your teammates. And we're going to pit 7 to 8 drivers from each league against all the other leagues. And as this kind of boiled down, and we did a short race to prove the concept, it seemed like that everyone around said, hey, let's do this. And not only let's do this for a series, right? Let's put 5 races together. Let's have some points and let's see by the end of these 5 races which league can stack up the most points. So here we are at Daytona. And we are going to be in the trucks. Like I said, for all of these races, we are going to mix up the broadcasting a little bit. I'm going to be in the booth tonight, unfortunately, by myself. This will be my first broadcast that I do solo, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun. We've got, like I said, 4 leagues out there, and we have 8 drivers per league that are going to take the field as they are qualifying now. And let's pull up some of the results here that we're seeing right now. And like you said, what you're going to see, especially on that ticker up above the results, is going to be the last name of the drivers. When you see these results page, you will see the highlighted or bracketed SSR. That would be for those that run an SSR. ORL would obviously be the ORL league. And I think one of the other cool things you're going to see tonight is you're going to see a lot of the paint schemes that look alike. So one of the things that we want to do, and of course, this is the first race of the series, so there's going to be some hiccups, and you'll see on the ticker, you'll see row or front row, and that's because a couple of the front row drivers still have front row as their last name here. So we will correct that going along, but as you can see there, you'll just see it say row, but that's gonna be fixed before the next race. But what we're looking for here is we have 100% fuel. We are going to have stage breaks tonight at Daytona. It's going to be lap 15, lap 30, and then we're going to run to the end from there. So I think we're going to see a green flag pit stop could come into play here. I think we're going to see some great wrecks, hopefully some fantastic wrecks, and we're going to see which one of these leagues can really find a way to work with each other, drive themselves to the front. Are we going to have some leagues that might just stay in the back and relax for a minute? We do not have any fast repairs for this series, so if your truck gets damaged and it's damaged beyond repair, then you are out for the event and the evening. The other thing that we're going to do and how we're going to work the points by the end of this is the top 4 drivers from each one of these leagues will get points. So if you have ORL that finishes 1 through 8, only 1 through 4 will get points. And then if SSR finishes 11 through 15, then they're going to get 11 points through 13. So it's going to be the top 4 drivers for each one. Go ORL there in the chat. We appreciate you tuning in. And ORL's got a great chance. They have, by the way, I'm not sure who you are in the chat, but they have some really cool paint schemes. I really like the lettering on it. Like their paint schemes. You will see the SSR folk in the black and red, and we're gonna take a look here as it looks like we are going to get ourselves ready to go. and we're going to filter this back out to who is going to lead. And it looks like taking your pole tonight is going to be Lane Phillips. And let me see if I can get him pulled up. And so Lane Phillips for SSR is going to be your pole sitter. ORL Colton Manick is going to be in second. Sorry, our little ticker is trying to slow down. Joe Hudson with SSR is going to be starting on the inside in third. Then you've got Steven Johnson from front row, Ronnie Morrison from front row, and then Ira Kohlhaas from SSR. Brandon Massey and Kyle Willman. Brandon Sanfilippo, Christopher Muse. We're just going to kind of roll through these. You've got Tyler Honeycutt, Cameron Combs, Johnny Barker, and Johnny Barker is an SSR driver. William McKellar going to share that same row. And then you've got James McCrae and Dylan Banks from front row, Wayne Garland and Cliff Adams. Chris and Lance Bratlinger. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Maybe if he gets up in the booth tonight, we'll ask him. Mike Killenbeck and Brian Zimmerman. Tom and Mark. Corey, which is the league owner for Mars, and Nate Lee's going to start on his outside. Caleb McKinney and Tanner Marr. And Austin Smith and Brandon Puffenbarger. Another tough name. We're going to try to find out if we pronounce that correctly. Brendan Stubbs and Ron Losi. Ron is going to be our race control for tonight, so I do not believe that you are going to see him racing. And then you have the ORL. That's the league owner, and then Michael Smith Jr. And then rounding out your starting grid is going to be Casey. So let's see if we can get down here, because it looks like we are going to get ready to go. And again, I look for a little bit of strategy. You know, with 15 laps, there certainly can make they can certainly make it on fuel for the 15 laps. So the question is going to be on this first stage, how hard do we want to push? Do we want to try to team up here? You know, how do we want to handle this for the first 15 laps? Let's go Mars in the chat. So we appreciate you joining with us. Thank you very much. Mars has got some pretty good representation out here, so pretty excited to see how they're going to do as well. So ORL, you see with those really cool yellow and black paint schemes, very nice. You'll see the black and red is going to be SSR front row. You'll see they have the insignia on up above the quarter panel on the trucks, but they have kind of a mixed paint scheme there. So so you'll see, I believe, like I said, I think by the next race, we'll really have that nailed down on the paint schemes. So as these drivers come out again, it's really a bunch of 8 drivers piling together in a chat that are normally competitors each week, are now going to come out and they're going to look to be teammates here. So I think that is a really cool thing and aspect of this league versus league showdown, and I think it's really going to show you how these guys can work really well together. So. All right, we're just going to be quiet here for just a second. We're going to try to turn it up just a little bit, and we're going to listen to these drivers. And Lane Phillips is going to come down here and take the green flag. Hey, Russ, we appreciate it. And here we go. Pace car is in. Very first race of the league versus league showdown. And here we go, green flag. As they run down into turn 1 and they start working their way over, you can see that you've got a couple of SSR drivers, 25, 26 truck down on the low line here. But you've got a couple, you've got a ORL driver here getting pushed by a front row driver, and that 85 truck is going to sneak out into the lead just a little bit before we go into turn 3. SSR drivers, looks like they're going to push back on the low inside. You've got another front row driver that is running third in line on that lower line. So we'll see if him and that 45 truck can get hooked up here and those teammates get together and start driving toward the front. Very first lap of the league versus league showdown, and I believe you're going to have Lane Phillips that's going to lead that lap for SSR. So really good start. Looks like we're nice and clean all the way through the back. We've got everybody in one large pack. We'll watch this front row just a little bit, and then we'll start working through the pack to look at some other trucks and some other drivers here. Nice little push by the 26 truck. You know, they have to be careful, especially on these trucks. You know, they push well because they're nice and squared up, but they tend to, if you tuck underneath of them, they can get squirrely, especially through the center of the turn. You want to make sure early on that you're not pushing that driver through the center of that turn, and because there's no need, you just sit back and ride. Make sure that you give the pushes when the trucks are nice and straight. Hey, Jay Neal, appreciate it. Thank you. Says, let's go Midwest Motorsports. We appreciate you tuning in with us. Looks like that 25 truck of Lane Phillips is going to push out front just a little bit, and he's got some help here with Joe Hudson right behind him. All right, so we're going to start walking through the field just a little bit. Again, on the outside, you've got that 85 truck of Colton Manick. Again, that's being pushed by front row driver in that 45 truck. That 45 truck is Steven Johnson. Ronnie Morrison shows he's in a 41 truck, but I believe he's going to be in that black and green truck here on the low line. And then we're going to go back to another driver, another ORL driver of Christopher, and then you can see him in the 81. That 90 truck right behind him is going to be Cameron Combs. And as you can see, you now have 3 ORL drivers on that top line pushing with that front row driver second in line inside of that little ORL sandwich. So we're going to come back here just a little bit, and you're going to see Ira Kohlhaas in an SSR truck, followed closely by Brandon Massey. On the outside here, you're going to see Mars truck, Nate Lee, and he's going to be in that 36. And then another SSR driver in the 14 truck right behind him. And then we're going to go to William McKellar. That is going to be in that 22 truck. And on his outside, that 48 is Dylan Banks, who is a front row driver. Johnny Barker, another SSR driver, is going to be right below him. And I apologize, but these guys are moving around so much, it's hard to keep track of some of these drivers. But you do have 2 additional ORL drivers that are nose to tail here. That's that 84 truck and the 86 truck. Oh, we've got one that's going to go down into the infield. And we've got a big stack up, and there's the 88 truck's going to turn, and we've got some accidents here in the back, and unfortunately, team, we are going to have to do this the very, very difficult way. Our toolbar does not work here. So let's just see what happened with the 86 truck. What we're going to try to do, let's go on the cockpit view with him, because it looks like... Oh, yeah, so it looks like Lane comes up just a little bit and tries to come back down, and a really great move here by Colton to survive and to keep all of these trucks turned the right way. It does look like that put Lane in the wall there. He's going to have some significant right front damage, and that stacked the entire field up. Looks like he's going to get back out on the track here. So we're going to go back to live. But, yeah, it looked like it stacked the field up. And, again, anytime you stack the field up like that, it's going to be that driver at the tail end that's going to get the worst of it. And we saw several drivers on the back end of that took some pretty hard accidents. Let's try to back this up just a little bit and see if we can find out if any of these other drivers here in the back of the pack were involved in that late accident. It looks like he is not. Looks like they were able to miss it. So this whole pack right here of front row drivers, it looks like they're kind of waiting it out for the big one and just staying back here in the back. So really intelligent on their end. And we're just going to kind of walk through the field. And then, of course, you see that. Oh, yeah. So Lane's going to have significant right front damage. And it looks like that 36 truck Oh, we've got Brandon Sanfilippo that's going to go into the infield too. So let's back it up and take a look at this 35 and 36 truck here. Because once these stack ups started to happen, again, anytime you get these checkups, it's just going to be starting to dodge what's going on. So as you can see, they're wide open. Everybody's stacking up. He gives the SSR driver just a little bump, and of course that gets him a little sideways, and then he's going to come down and clip the 88 truck, and then of course that's where the melee happens. And I think at this point, looks like at this point, yeah, this is just going to be a big mess. It's just everybody trying to dodge it. John in the chat saying that we sound like a robot, so let's see if we can figure out why we sound like a robot. Give me just a second. What I'm going to try to do is mute the mic and then come back and then unmute it. All right, so try that now, everybody. If you would just let me know if that mic sounds better, I certainly appreciate you calling that out for me so that we can fix it and we don't spin the broadcast like that. So we just shut the mic off and turned it back on. Does that sound good? John, Russ, anybody out there in the chat, just let me know. All right, I appreciate that. So we're going to go back up front here. So again, we've got several trucks. Let's see if we have anybody still in the pits. So the 88 and the 5 truck are going to still be in the pits, get some damage repaired. So that is going to be Lane Phillips that is in the pits. Serious right front damage to that truck. As you can see, he doesn't even have a right front fender on anymore. Really heavy impact into the wall. And looks like we've got some other people coming down. They might be topping off here to get some fuel, but you know, again, we are going to have a caution, a stage break caution at lap 15. And it looks like we are going to have the lights off on the pace car. So we're going to be going green this time by. So now you're going to have a little bit different look. You see that 45 truck, he was running on that high side, second in line on that first stint before the accident. You had Joe Hudson that was on the inside of that line that was pushing Lane that the accident. But then you've got that 69 truck of front row that's up there, and then the 36 truck right below him of Nate Lee. I thought Nate was one of those that got into that accident. I guess he was not. But Nate is here, and we're going to turn this up real quick and do this, and then we should be ready to go. But looks like we're going to have him on the inside line helping push that front row guy. But then you've got a couple of ORL drivers in the 81 and the 90 truck on the inside line pushing behind them, and then you've got the SSR driver of Ira that's going to be on the top line, really third in line here. So going to be pretty interesting when we go back. We are going to go back on lap 9. So again, we're going to have about a 7-lap sprint here.
Green flag.
And there we go, green flag. We got a lot of, looks like we had a lot of movement.
Caution, caution.
Oh, big caution, big wreck. Big wreck early.
You happen to get a look at your time when you're on track?
So let's take a look back here. Yeah, we had just a major stack up. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened. It looks like maybe the 84 truck might have spun the tires and or gotten a little bit of a push. So let's take a look and see if we can get on board with this 84 truck of Wayne Garland. And we're going to try to get on board, and we're going to listen and see what happens. I believe we've spun the tires. We're going to fall back just a little bit to, I believe it will be his teammate. And we're going to see, I believe that the 84 truck has just spun the tires and put himself in the wall. And then after that happened, we're going to back it up just a little bit here. We're going to go back on board with the 84 truck, because once he hits the wall, that next line gets by, but then he just gets down in front of the field, and by then it is just too late, and we just collect all types of people. So we're going to go over here. We're going to get ourselves up to pit road. All right, we are going to back this up just one more time. I want to just take a look and see how many trucks we got collected in that when we spun these tires. So again, that's going to happen to you, especially if you stand on it. And I don't know if he was trying to necessarily block the 30 truck. No, I believe he just spun the tires, chat, and there you go. So that's going to get the 32 truck and the 50 truck. I believe that's a front row racer. That's going to collect. It looks like 1, 2, 3 Mars trucks, and then as you can see, it looks like the 27 truck back here is also going to get collected in that. And we've got a couple of Mars trucks that were able to survive. So yes, that was just a huge stack up there. It's going to take out quite a few drivers. All right. We have the 39 truck and the 35 truck that are still going to be on pit road getting repairs done. They're going to slide right back down. So the majority of the time here, what you're looking for is, let me go in, let me check and see what my extensive damage is. If it's not that bad, I'm just going to try to manage it. 39 truck with heavy right side damage. I'm not sure if he can do a whole lot about that. 32 does as well. Yeah, a lot of Mars trucks in this. You know, you look at the 35, he's got some pretty severe front end damage. But again, you're going to come down. You're going to watch where that pace car is. This is where your teammates are going to help you out. Call out that pace car so that you know where they're at. And you're going to try to get as much damage as you can get fixing. You're going to count on that 15-lap caution. By the time we go green, we're really only going to have a 2-lap scamper, I would say, before we're going to have that next caution thrown out. So the 45 truck, we've seen him up here most of the night. He had a great qualifying run. Steven Johnson from front row, he is going to be leading us to the green. Joe Hudson, again, been here most of the early afternoon, night. Here at Daytona, he is going to be starting second. You're going to have Nate Lee starting in third, and Ronnie Morrison from front row starting in fourth. It looks like we're going to go one more lap. So again, if the lights go out on the pace car this time around, and they are, so we are going to go back green this time on lap 13. So again, a 2-lap run to the first competition caution, and there will be stage points that are delivered to the top 10 trucks. So again, there is a lot at stake here. And as you look, we are still, let me just toggle pit road here. It looks like we only have two, the 50 and 35 trucks still on pit road. Everyone else is out, which is a fantastic thought process here, which is stay on the lead lap. I'll come back in 2 laps. There's no way I can get lapped unless my truck is in really bad shape and get some more damage repair once that caution comes out. So again, 45 is going to choose that high line, put the 26 down at the bottom. And then he's obviously doing that because you have a teammate, a front row teammate here in that 69, that black and green truck on the outside. Very intelligent decision. I want my teammate pushing me. I do not want to be down there. If he were to start low, then he'd have that 36 truck behind him, so he can get his teammate behind him, help push him for these last 2 laps. And again, it's really not the individual driver more than it is the team. So you know, if we're going to have a stage break and we're going to get points to this stage break, you know, we need 3 to 4 of us up front, and we want to get as close to the front as we can. It does not matter if the 45 or 69 takes it, as long as a front row driver takes this first stage. All right, as you can see, they are coming out of 4. Again, we are going to have a 2-lap run to our competition caution. Flagman has the green flag out. You're going to see the pace car dip off onto pit road. And Steven Johnson at 45 is going to take us to green.
Green flag.
All right, that front row is really lined up well. We got that Mars truck that has slid back there and has pushed. Looks like he has pushed Hudson back to that 3rd on that inside line. And as you can see, we've got some SSR drivers starting to assemble on the outside. But again, those front row drivers really nose to tail, pushing hard here. You got a SSR driver in the 26. He's going to go to the outside and try to make a run. And I believe that 36 truck is going to follow him as the lone Mars truck. 45 is going to come up to block, but Hudson is going to take this 3 wide here. It looks like that might allow the SSR truck drivers to line up nose to tail on this 3rd line on the outside. And it looks like we have 1 lap to go, and we are still 3 wide. Boy, that is really some aggressive driving early on with the stage break, and I understand wanting those stage points. The 47 is going to get loose, and he's going to wiggle, and he is going to take out the ORL. And I believe that is going to lock in the stage. So as that stage break comes back, chat, I want to just kind of go back and look here. Now, obviously, this is a result of being 3 wide, which again, you know, as you let's see if we can get a little bit closer. As you come up 3 wide, you can see these SSR trucks really up against the wall here. They might even be touching the wall. 29 looks like he might be against it. 22 might be against it. But as they come through, you can see that it looks like the 47 is going to come down just a little bit and get into the 90 truck. And the 9, that inside lane, just a little bit, and that could have just been dirty air from that truck. So I think this is just going to be trucks moving around. And as you can see, that 47 is going to come down and just get turned. The 90 is going to try to avoid him and hit that. And anytime you come off of this bankment and you hit this flat, you're along for the ride at this point. This 47 is going to try to save it, clips the 81. And again, he is really just crossed up trying to do what he can. I want to go on board with this 47 truck, and what we're going to do, we're going to take away this line because I'm not sure if you can see his steering wheel, but you can see. I just want everybody to kind of look and see how difficult this is when you are 3 wide and you've got air on the right, left side of you, and it's getting packed on your rear. You don't have any side bite on your tires, and this is just. I just want you to watch him work this wheel. Wow. Wow, that's really something else. And as you can see, sometimes you're just along for the ride there. But you can actually hear that driver downshifting, trying to find the right gear to get in. He's sawing back and forth on the wheel, trying to get that truck straightened up. You know, the best thing that you can do when you're getting wrecked like that or getting turned is you want to be able to get that truck as straight as possible, as quick as possible, so that you can get yourself straight and motor on. We're going to go back here and look. It looks like we have some people that have stayed out. So it looks like the top 8 drivers did not go down pit road. They're going to stay out, and they must have enough fuel to be able to make it to that next stage break of 30. And they're going to try to play a little bit of track position game here, which is great. I mean, that's what you want to do. It looks like You have one, two, three, four. Four of the SSR drivers have stayed out, and equally, four of the front row drivers have stayed out as well. So you've got really two teams that have come together and said, we can make it to 30. Let's not pit. Let's see if we can get our teams together and see if we can get some more stage points. So really good strategy on the part of a couple of those. And then you have those trucks that are going to be down pit road trying to get some work done. As you see, still 2, 4, 6, you still have 8 trucks that are down pit road trying to get some repairs finished. Now is the time that you want to do it. It is a long pace lap from start to finish. So some trucks can get some pretty significant work repaired. And we're just going to kind of go on. This is the 47 truck that was involved in that accident early and just a minute ago. And I do believe that if he does not get himself out, yes, and he is going to go a lap down. That 47 truck will go a lap down here. We still have the 43 truck that's going to be on pit road. Most of these that you see here, the 90 truck, 44 truck, still getting repairs done. 90 without a right front fender. And you've seen he was really one of the ones that got caught up with the 47 truck early on. But it looks like he's fighting to stay on the lead lap, and he's just getting some repairs done coming back out. 47 truck still on pit road. Truck does not look bad, so this might be a internal damage, might be some engine repairs needing to get done on that truck, because from a bodywork standpoint, that truck does not look bad at all. Let's go back up because it looks like we are going to be going green here. The lights are out on that pace car, and you're going to see some of the usual suspects. 45 truck and Steven Johnson still leading, and you can see now he does not have a front row teammate that was going to start fourth where he could slide up in front of. So he's going to opt to take that bottom line and separate those two SSR drivers. Again, really nice strategy there by him to separate those, but you do have the 29 and 22 truck there. You have an ORL driver in the 81, and then you have a front row driver in the 46 and the 48 that's going to start side by side here. So it looks like the ORL driver is going to be the one that is going to be kind of hung out to dry. Grime Time Gaming 89, let's go ORL. Yeah, there's still quite a few of those black and yellow trucks out here. All right, we've got the green flag in hand. And again, that pace car is going to tear off to the pit lane.
Green, green, green.
And we are going to go green. Really nice fire off for Steven in that low line. As we see some movement already coming around. We're going to watch these trucks in real time come around here. That bottom line is starting to form up quite a bit. And again, I think we have some trucks that are just really sitting in back. We've got another one going down on the apron. He's going to get back in line. That truck is all over the place. I believe that one might have to come in for some more damage repairs. All right, and as you can see, you have the 4 SSR drivers that are now hooked up and in the top line. You've got the 45 of Steven down at the bottom with the ORL driver in the 81 pushing him ahead. But you do have another front row racer in that 46 and 48 truck down at the bottom line as well. So I think really those two teams are in pretty good shape here, as the 29 is going to get a push from his teammate in the 26. It's going to push that truck right onto the lead. Looks like they are going to slide down and hang out their teammate in that 22 truck. You do have 3 drivers back here in the back. looks like they have certainly lost that lead pack, and it looks like they're waiting for a caution to get some more repairs done. 29, 26, 226 trucks there. I guess we have a little number discrepancy that are going to be nose to tail for the SSR team. And you see front row is now going to start making a move in that 46 and 48 truck on the high side. And they are going to, as planned, the 45 truck is going to slide up, and now these front row, you have 4 front row drivers that are now going to be nose to tail, that are going to come on that high side. And then again, you're going to have that ORL driver, unfortunately, just stuck here with no teammates, as you have 2 more SSR drivers that are coming up behind that 81 truck. All right, as they come around, more of the same. I believe we might have had some of those early cautions, and now we've got some drivers starting to settle in and turn some laps. We have probably 9 to go before we're going to have another competition caution. So I guarantee you those teams are in chat talking. What do we need to do? How are we going to stay out? How are we going to watch the runs? That front row team has really assembled on that high line. And if you're SSR, you've got to be looking for that and calling that out, as here he comes in that 45 truck. We've got one down low. 81 truck is going to bail out and start coming back here to the back to get picked up by everyone else. And what that's going to do is allow a 4th SSR driver to come up and join his teammates on that low line. That 45 truck is coming. He is getting a fantastic push out of that 46. That 48 is doing exactly what he's supposed to do, is that 3rd truck in line, which is just keep pressure on the back bumper of that 46 and give him what he needs to be able to push that bottom line. That 26 truck's going to get a little loose and touch the apron, and that's going to separate this SSR pack on the low line just a little bit. You now have 5 front row drivers nose to tail on that high line. That's fantastic teamwork. And really from leagues, again, that you fight with, and these are your competitors on a Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever night it is that you run, these are the people that you're bumping doors with, and now you're teammates with them. So really great opportunity to get in and see how the others race. It gives you a mutual respect for your teammates and your competitors as well. So really great idea here for this league showdown. I think it's showing you how well that these drivers can come together and race as a team. SSR still going to hold pretty strong here on that low line, as they're going to keep pushing that 29 truck of Ira. But 45 truck has now started to get to the quarter panel of that SSR truck, as 5 of them, again, are lined up on that high side. And it looks like that truck earlier that was a little loose is now going to be down on the apron and going a lap down. We have about 6 laps before the end of this, so we're going to start fanning back just a little bit here into the center of the of this front pack and take a look at some other drivers. We're going to look at Michael Smith here, and he's in that 33 truck, that 33 Mars truck. You see 3 of those together. You've got the 33, 36, 32 trucks that are here together, and then right behind them on the inside, I believe that's the 38. So Mars really starting to come together as well in this pack. Oh, we've got, as one of the Mars trucks is going to get a little loose coming through and touch the apron, he's going to come down on the inside and is going to have to pick up the back of this. Now, this is the time to do that. If you slip up and you make a mistake and you have to fall back and lose this draft, it is okay. I do not believe that you are going to, in 4 laps, go a lap down. So if it had to happen, now was the time for it to happen. As you see, the 86 of ORL and 2 front row drivers, again, are just kind of back here biding their time. You know, really watching the wrecks happen and trying to keep those trucks clean for the end. There is another group of 3, as we're just going to kind of fan back here. So I believe that these 3 drivers, if they can stay hooked up, are going to be close enough to that front pack, they're going to be okay. My concern is this group of 3 here. So that's the 47 truck that you saw earlier in that last caution with the 43 and the 81. As you've seen, the 81 was touched that apron and got a little bit loose earlier and had to back out of it. So he's been able to tag on to the back end of this group, which again, they are going to be just fine before the last competition. Yellow. As you can see now, we're gonna go back up front, and front row has pushed the 45 and 46 trucks clear. Looks like Ira's going to have a pretty good run on that low line, but that top line really working for those front row drivers. Yeah, it really is, isn't it, Russ? Russ in the chat says seeing some great teamwork by these teams. Yeah, it's great to just see these teams get together. You know, these leagues get together and run as a team, compete as a team. We're going to go to some 1.5 mile tracks too, where we're going to see, you know, this is really a teammate track. You see the 26 is going to give a really nice shove to the other 26 of Joe Hudson here. They're going to get a nice little push, and then you've got William McKellar in that 22 that, again, is doing what a third place truck needs to do, which is stay close enough to give them the push, but not close enough where you're actually going to make contact with them as well. We are going to come to the start-finish line at 28 laps. That 26 truck down on the apron, and that's going to cause a stack up to go 3 wide, and that's going to turn McKellar and the 26 truck, and it looks like they are just spinning down on the inside. They are okay, but that is not going to bring out the caution, so those drivers are going to have to get back up on the track. Now the caution comes out.
Give it some fuel whenever you can, but doing a really good.
We are going to we're going to come back here just a little bit because it looks like there is the spin. That truck almost gets airborne and tips over. And he's going to be slowing down and working his way back up the track. And I believe, and then the truck just will not turn. Either really hot tires there or some damage. We're going to go on board with that truck. And I believe what you're going to see is this truck, after it spins, these tires get so hot, you just cannot get any traction out of them. And, oh, that truck almost rolls over. Nice downshift, and he's going to try to come back up the track, hit the gas. That truck just will not move. The tires are so slick. It just will not steer, and he cannot hit the gas on that truck, and that's going to bring that caution out. And that might freeze the field. That might freeze the field, and if that freezes everything for this stage, you are going to have front row finishing 1, 2, and 3. Joe Hudson is going to be the lone breakup in an SSR truck that looks like that he is going to take over that 4th position. But if you look, a really great point stint for front row as they're going to take 1, 2, 3, and the 5th place. Again, as the top 4 drivers of that league. So great job by the front row team as well. You saw them start to hook up and get up on that top line and really drive their trucks where they needed to. They got some great runs above. They started to pull away from those SSR guys before this caution came out anyway, as SSR trucks touch the apron and start spinning back up the track. So really good point stint for the front row team. And then you've got Ronnie Morrison from front row finishing in 6th as well, which again is not going to be able to gain points because it's just going to be the top 4. All right, so we are going to get back off of that, and we are going to take a look and see who is still on pit road. As you can see, just a myriad of people, drivers. They're getting tires. You're going to take tires here. You're under caution. Why not take tires? You really don't need them at Daytona, but you're not really going to lose any spots. So just fill it up with fuel, take tires. And of course, if you have some damage, now is the time to get that damage repaired. As you see, a lot of drivers that are coming back out now because they do not want to go a lap down. Looks like Cliff Adams might get your lucky dog here, as he is the first truck that is down a lap. He is 2 laps down, and then you have Brandon Sanfilippo, who is 2 laps down as well, coming out of the pits, and then you have Cameron at 8 laps down. It looks like everyone else that is several laps down are going to be in the pits, and they might be done for the night. All right, so coming out ahead with a great pit stop is going to be your league owner for front row, and that's going to be Tom. He's going to be followed by Caleb McKinney in the Mars truck, and then you have your Mars league owner in Corey. That is going to be in third, Austin Smith in fourth, and then William McKellar, one of those trucks that you saw spinning, is going to be in fifth here. Looks like the lights are out on the pace car. We are going to start stacking these trucks back up, and now our stage breaks are over, so we are going to run until we have a wreck, or we are coming in for green flag stops, or we hit that 70 mark and the race is over. Looks like we had a truck that would blinked out, but behind the 38 truck, Mars truck here. I'm not sure if the 46 truck is trying to slide up here, not knowing if that truck's going to just pop back up. One of the worst things that can happen to you as a driver is having a truck blink out right in front of you, because you don't know if you need to push up a little bit or if that truck's going to pop back in and be right on top of you. So front row again is going to take the green flag in the number 1 position with Tom. That front row league owner is going to fire off first. We already seen a caution due to spinning the tire. So if I'm in this chat, I'm telling my team, we don't have to stand on it. This is a draft track. We can suck right back up to people. We want good, clean restarts. Want to make sure that your truck has traction. You're straight ahead. And let's start working our way to the front. As you can see, we've still have the yellow flag, but that is going to switch to green very soon, and he is going to switch that now. And you are going to start to see the pace car peel off, go down pit lane, and Tom is going to bring us to the green flag.
Green, green, green.
They are going to come around 2 by 2 by 2 all the way till about 3/4 of the way back. The top line is really and that's going to put that Mars team is going to be on the top line, and he is going to come down. The 32 truck's going to come down and try to pick up his Mars teammate, and that is going to leave 3 front row drivers nose to tail on that top line. So they're going to pick right back up where they left off before that last stage caution came out, which is running that top line nose to tail, eating up laps and pushing each other. As you see that they are going to go 2 trucks ahead. The 45 and 42 have almost cleared that bottom lane, but you do have 3 Mars trucks that are now going to stack up, and the 39 is going to give a nice little bump to the 32. And as you can see that bump, you can see what that does. See how it just really down the backstretch is going to eat up space. Running right back up. 45 is going to dip down and try to block that line and block that run. And I would assume coming out of this, he's going to come back up and pick up his 42 truck teammate. No, I think the decision here is going to be controlling both lanes. So now you have the thought process from the front row drivers to stack that up and take the top and the bottom lane and be able to control that line on the top and bottom, and that way you can control the race. Definitely not a bad strategy at all, because if you're going to get some points, you want to make sure that you get out there and lead the most laps. But you're going to see an ORL driver that is going to take a run and try to split that. The problem that he is going to have, unfortunately, is that you have now put 5 front row drivers nose to tail on the top line, with the one lone front row driver down at the bottom pushing you. So good move to try to get out front and to break up that. Oh, we've got a truck that is flipping.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
And we are going to go back and see if we can find out what happened there. As we've got several trucks involved, and I seen a truck. Wow. Let's go back. That's going to be the 86 truck that is going to get turned. Let's see if we can find the 86 truck. That is Mike Killenbeck. So let's back up here with Mike and let's see. Looks like that 47 truck is going to turn him. He's going to be right there on that inside, and he is going to hook him. Let's go on board with the 47 and see what the 47 sees here. Again, 47 truck involved in that earlier incident. Looks like he might be pushing this 3 wide. Just push that 3 wide early on before we break midway through this race. Let's go on board and ride along with Mike Killenbeck. Wow. I don't guess that truck went all the way over. Yeah, that's going to be tough. It looks like that's going to catch another ORL driver. Look at this truck, just almost over. Did not quite make it over. And that is going to make everybody scurry. And you can see that is a big impact to the 27 of Cliff Adams. I think you're going to see Adams on board, and you're just going to see him wide open behind another truck and just does not see this coming. Watch this in real time. Oh, just nowhere to go. Heavy, heavy impact. That is going to end the night for several drivers. Oh, as we have hopped on board and we hear that Joe Hudson is now clutching that truck. So there is some strategy going on already, as it looks like you are going to see front row. Some of the front row drivers come in and take some fuel and then come back out. So let's just run down the list here. As you can see, those that have been on pit road that are out here just trying to get some damage fixed. And again, 27, 84, 47 truck back in again. I'm sure that truck's night might be over. Was in the pits for a long time. Was already a lap down, and I believe you're going to see a little bit more as he's trying to get some damage repaired on that truck. '26 truck, no right front fender on that truck as well. So heavy damage. 84 in there. Looks like front end damage on that 84 truck as well. So lots of repairs going on. We're going to go back up here to our leader. So Hudson in the SSR is going to be leading, and then you've got 2 ORL drivers that are nose to tail. Actually, we have one that's peeling off. I believe that everybody is going to get that last splash that they think that they can make it to the end. I'm going to go back on board. Yeah, you can hear that truck is not running. So we are in fuel saving mode here. As you can see, the amount of drivers that are on pit road trying to get that last little bit of fuel, try to make it. They're probably calculating now if this thing gets the one single green white checkered that they are going to get. If it has to do that, am I going to have enough fuel to push this truck to the end? Yeah, yeah, that was some wild ride. I thought that truck was certainly going to go over. Um, it did not, but it couldn't have been any closer. I think that's about as close as you can get to a truck rolling completely over and not. So I cannot believe it made it back out. And back down on all four tires, which, you know, honestly, once it went back up the track and in front of the other drivers, I'm certain that night was over anyway. But you got to love it. We knew that was going to happen at Daytona. We knew we were going to have some wrecks, some fireworks going on. And I can tell you I am pretty happy that I am not in any of the chats and race control, because I'm sure that there are some tempers flaring as well. Here we go. The lights are going to be off on this pace car, and we are going to come around. We are in the middle of 3 coming around to 4, and we are going to start again. And we're going to come to the flag with 32 laps to go with this inaugural race of our League Showdown Series. One of 5 races. It's going to be Daytona, some mile and a halfs, and one more super speedway by the end of it. And after 5 races, we're going to find out which league is going to be the best league out of these 4. As you're going to see that SSR truck of Joe Hudson come out, and then the ORL truck is going to slide right underneath and cut the nose off of another driver, and then swing right back up to the outside as they're going to come around stack 2 by 2 for the lead. Wow, 69 with a big shot to the 26. I'm not sure if the 26 has slowed up because he did not have a drafting partner, or the 69 just had a great run there. But it looks like he's going to have a partner in that 28 truck that's going to be on his outside. But now you're starting to see the ORL drivers sneak up to the front of this pack, as you see 2 of them coming up. They're right behind that 28 truck, and then you've got 1 leading. So you do have 3 ORL drivers. 4, 5, 6 front row drivers sitting in the top 10. And then you've got a couple of other sprinklings of some SSR drivers, but it looks like some of those wrecks have taken a lot of these drivers out, as it looks like running on the track and on the lead lap, you have 27 drivers of the 34 that started. So honestly, we've got some trucks still running, some with some damage, but you know, that's a pretty good number to only have 7 trucks that are below and not on the lead lap. This 28 truck of Massey looks nice and clean. Have not called his name tonight. Oh, as he's, it looks like that was a bad shove, or he wanted to get up to his ORL teammates. Oh, and then Massey's going to get pushed down on the inside. And he is going to have to merge back on, and he does the right thing, which is stay down and try to catch this. He might lose that draft. But again, that was a little too tight there. 45 truck, I believe, had that space. Looks like 26 truck is going to get booted, and that's going to cause another accident as he's going to go sliding. He's going to save it. No damage. He's going to try to get back up, and those tires are going to be hot. Oh! That 26 is going to cause the caution. That looked like just some really tight beating and banging here. Let's go on board. Let's go on board. Let's back this up and go on board and see what happens. Yeah, I believe you just have the 38 truck. Might have pulled down just a little bit off the wall. Let's see if we can go into this view and back it up just a little bit. Looks like that 38 truck. The 26 is going to come up and make contact. Looks like the 38 holds his line. Really tight on the exit, but still in his line. He's obviously getting a draft off of his teammate there. And it looks like that 26 is just going to slide up and barely. There might be a little net code in that. but it looks like he's barely going to touch him, and then that is obviously going to send everybody scrambling at that point. Once he checks up, he's going to come right back up and touch that 69 truck, and the 48 truck does a great job of avoiding that wreck. I'm going to go on board with the 48 truck as he sees this SSR truck start to get loose. And he is going to bail. What a great move. He knew, I mean, what great anticipation here. He knew that that truck, he knew he was going to come back up, and he just bailed immediately. Great job. And after we said that, this truck does not have a front end. So let's go back and see what happened after he comes back up. Oh, another wreck that causes that caution. And that's going to be with the 45. So this might be the reason the caution came out. Let's go back just a little bit here. Oh, same. So we have the 38 truck again coming down and clipping the 45. Looks like they're just 3 wide, super tight racing. 38's just a little loose. It's going to come down and get the rear quarter of that 45, which is in turn going to take out that 90 truck. And then we've got a big, massive wreck coming up here. 22 with nowhere to go is going to make contact. Mars guys, 32, 39 are diving and getting out of the way. And then unfortunately, you've got the 48 truck of Dylan with that great save earlier is just now going to be in no man's land. And unfortunately, he's going to hit. This is the new damage model. One of the new things with these trucks is that hood flying up on them. As you can see, those rollover flaps pop out. And then that hood comes up. And just nowhere to go. That's 3 front row drivers with serious, serious damage there. So let's re-rack them. Let's put this back in perspective here. We have 3 ORL drivers now at the front of this field in Colton, Casey, and Christopher. Then we've got Mars with Nate Lee, William McKellar in the 22 truck. I believe we saw him make some impact, and it does look like the front end of that truck is a little pushed in, but he is going to be starting in your 5th position. Caleb and Austin in the Mars trucks are going to be 6th and 7th. Another ORL truck in 8th. Mars in 9th, and then you'll have your first front row driver that's going to be in 10th. So front row dominating this race early on with some bad luck, couple of bad wrecks there. I believe there were 4 front row drivers involved in that last wreck, and so that's going to unfortunately put some of those guys getting some damage repaired, but that certainly opens the door for ORL with those black and yellow trucks up front. Mars, that 3632 truck there as well. You've got the 22 SSR truck, and then the 88 is another ORL driver. He just does not have that paint scheme on, so be on the lookout for him. $27 to go when we cross the start finish line. It's going to be 26. This has been a exciting, impactful race. We've had a couple of big ones. We haven't had the big one, but we have had a few, and we are far from done. With 27 laps to go, we are just getting started. We have plenty of drivers, plenty of trucks still on the lead lap. Pace car is going to come out of turn 4. Flagman is going to lower this yellow flag and reach down and grab this green one. Pace car is going to take a hard left-hand turn. ORL controlling both lines.
Green flag, green flag.
And we are off and running. ORL's going to come down to control just one line and leave 2 Mars drivers up there nose to tail on the top line. Looks like we've got Tom really trying to stay on the back end of that, which I don't believe he's going to. Unfortunately, I think he is going to lose that draft. He just does not have the aero to keep up. Now you're going to have 3 ORL drivers on the bottom line with 3 Mars drivers on the top line. That fourth, that 88 Bud, is going to be an ORL driver. So look for him to try to find a little bit of wiggle room and get in line with his teammates instead of pushing these Mars drivers to the lead. But as it stands right now, that top line with a great run, and that is going to push Nate, Lee, Caleb, and Austin all out ahead of these ORL truck drivers. I'll tell you, you can start to see these runs come and go. That's what is so great about these plate tracks. As you see these drivers in these leagues come to the front and then go to the back, and the 81 is going to give that second place truck a little push. But as you can see this, you've got 4 ORL drivers in the top 10. You've got 3 Mars drivers up front, nose to tail, controlling that top line. And then back behind that, you've got 2, 4, 5 SSR drivers that are starting to get together, and they're going to be on the backside of that top line. And then you've got 2 front row, well, 1 front row driver in the 46 of Tyler Honeycutt there, just kind of on his own on that low line. 88 truck's going to get just a little high, push up to that wall, and that's going to give just a little bit of the gap. But you see this 36 truck, it's going to come down and try to block that line and that run for the ORL, and it's going to leave his 2 teammates out to dry with only 2 drivers pushing that top line. You see these teams starting to break up just a little bit. Oh, we've got one. That 82 truck is way out of shape as he is pushing hard to get that 85 truck back to the lead. They are going to lead that lap. So put Colton back in front. Some serious side drafting going on now as you see Mars making some moves, wiggling around. That's going to be an accident and a wreck. Oh, and we are going to go over now. That 85 truck in spectacular fashion. I cannot believe that engine is still running. I unfortunately do not believe that is going to bring the caution flag out. Wow, so we are going to stay green. We will go back and look at that as soon as we get another caution, but we are still squarely up here at the front as the 81 truck is going to be battling those 3 Mars drivers, and he's going to push on that 36 truck, try to get him out front. You have 3 Mars drivers. You've got 2 ORLs in that 81, and do not forget that 88 truck. That Bud truck there is an ORL driver as well. You got a front row driver there, and then you have 2, 4, 5 SSR drivers with an ORL back behind them. So again, 22 laps to go. I think if you're a part of this front pack, you probably want to sit back and see if you can continue to pull away, because you've got another pack and you've got some front row drivers that have hooked back up here in the 69 and the 42. If they can catch on and get this 86 to tag onto them as well, I believe you're going to see them be able to assemble and catch that front pack, as the front pack is still going to sit here 2 by 2 by 2. And unfortunately, that 85 truck is still down at the apron with his hood flopping in the wind, and as you can see, that back little small pack has caught back up as William McKellar is going to get loose, and so is the 30 truck, and he's going to come back up on the track and get loose again. It's going to save it, and we are going to stay green. Let's go back up front. It looks like Mars and that 36 driver of Nate Lee is going to get pushed by McKellar in that 22. We have some serious hard-nosed side drafting going on with 20 laps to go. I believe you're going to see, as hard as these drivers are drafted, you see the 81 with a big shot there right in the middle of the turn. Great job by the 36 truck to hang on to that. We are making moves. We are pushing hard. Do not count out front row. They have caught back up to the back of this pack. There are some fantastic drivers in that league, and they've got 19 laps to reassemble and get some runs going, start to push themselves back to the front. That 88 truck's got a little bit of a blinking issue. You're starting to see the Mars guys really run the top and the bottom line as SSR is starting to nose to tail their drivers too on the inside line with the 22, 29, 28, and the 26. Front row now with that 43 truck and that 69 are nose to tail as well. So a little bit of drafting help from them. And we're going to come to this line with 18 laps to go at the start-finish line. We got more door banging. Tell you, these drivers, they do not plan on leaving any of this to chance here. They are going to get every bit out of these trucks that they can possibly get. You got a truck that has lost the draft back there. SSR truck lost the draft. Mars again still running those top two lanes. '81 truck's going to clip the apron, get a little loose. Think that's going to check that lower line up just a little bit. As you can see, that 22 truck with quite a bit of front end damage might not be able, as the third truck in line, to really push those other trucks as hard as he needs to. But Mars really sitting in a good spot here with 18 to go, running the top and the bottom line. As long as they stay here, unless a third line forms. And it looks like that 69 truck is going to try to do that, as they're going to go three wide, the 26, 29, and 69 truck. That 69 truck is going to the front. He's got a teammate on the upper side of him. No, that is the ORL truck, as the 43 is going to go low and get behind that 22. This little small pack here in the front, I believe, is going to be pulling away from anybody else that is behind. And 69 truck is not going to take this laying down. That driver wants to get to the front. He wants to push front row up to the front. He is making that high line work. Look at him really up against that wall, driving the wheels off of that truck. He's got an ORL driver behind him. They're going to get a fantastic run coming down this backstretch. And I think you're going to see this third line coming in, as you can see them coming down the backstretch heading into 3. '69 still way up there on the outside of that wall. You have to wonder if that truck is going to start to get a little loose. '81 is going to break up this Mars top line and going to slide up to the outside. Now you're going to start to see it get a little bit dicey. I believe that Mars was sitting back in a really good spot running both lanes, but now you might see some of these Mars drivers start to slide up top and get into that third line and try to hang that 81 truck out to dry. As it looks like he's going to try to block that truck, and now that 36 is going to open the door for the SSR drivers to get pushed forward, and they might take over this lead. 22 truck is loose and it's going to slide up the track. We might go 4 wide here. We got another one sliding down on the inside. He is going to merge in an extremely dangerous. Oh, we've got another one that comes up and gets bumped. That 43 truck is going to slide sideways. He's going to hold on to it, but again, that is going to put him out of this draft line. And I think right now what you are looking at is you are looking at these Mars drivers nose to tail, really avoiding a lot of these accidents here. And Front row now losing that 43 truck, only has that 69 truck by its lonesome out here. There are still 3 Mars trucks, and you've got 1 ORL truck. There is another ORL truck in that 86 that's behind the 69 truck here, as you can see that black and yellow there coming up to this front pack. Front row looks like they do have that blue truck in the back of, see if I can see what number. We cannot see. That's the 44 truck of Tanner Marr. Oh, that last ORL truck is going to slide out of the, I can tell you that that either this truck is hot or this thing is a slippery mess here, as these trucks are starting to move around on this hot asphalt, and big shoves going on now. 36 is going to come up and block that line from the 81. We're going to have a lap truck to contend with here in just a second. So we're going to go 3 wide on entry. It's like everybody's going to hold on to it. That Mars trio has now been officially broken up, as that 69 truck, with those great runs he's been putting together, is going to get another one on this outside. And we're going to see if this 22 truck, oh, that 81 truck's going to get loose and get sideways, and he's going to try to merge back up to keep on that line. And then we're going to have the 69 truck in the wall. The beating and banging does not stop. Nate Lee is going to stay right here and in the lead. And unfortunately, that 22 car truck is going to try to move forward. Watch the big hit that he's going to get here. And now you're going to see those Mars trucks, 1, 2, 3 down on the inside line. But you are going to have 4 SSR trucks that are going to be on this high side. The 81 truck of ORL was able to merge back from getting loose and is going to stay in this front draft. Those Mars drivers just really doing a great job here at the back end of this race with 11 to go. These trucks are just moving around. They're a handful, hard to hang on to, but these 3, 36, 32, 39, really putting on a great show here. They're staying nice and tight, communicating well, good quality pushes. They're not pushing each other out of control. See, I believe that 81. Oh, we've got a big wreck here.
Caution's out.
Let's go back and see what has happened to that. I believe I was looking down at my scoring timer and did not see that. We are going to back up here. That is going to give some people a great opportunity to get back into this lead pack, as it looks like that 32 truck come up. And let's go, you know what? Let's just stay here and let's just see what happens. It looks like the 32. Looks like the 32 is going to come up the track. 22 is there. 32 might have thought that 22 being on that outside line should be a little bit closer up against that wall, but he is going to come up. And this might be just a 2-truck incident, as the 28 truck, oh, that 32 is going to lift the rear tires up. And it looks like those drivers on the outside line do a good job of avoiding that accident, as it looks like, unfortunately, the 32 is definitely going to get the worst of that wreck. All right, they're going to be in the pits, unfortunately, trying to get a little bit of damage repaired on that vehicle. Nate Lee, still your leader. McKellar, that was involved in that accident, is going to be 4th, but he is going to come in. Again, he had that heavy front end damage. Gets in the wreck with that 32 truck. Looks like he's going to slide through his pits a little bit. And that is good news for that front row team. I believe that they had a couple of drivers, a couple of trucks that had lost that front pack, so this really helps them. And it looks like got a couple of guys packing up the toolboxes and calling it a night. Mars trucks are still going to be 1 and 2. Again, everyone, I apologize for having to do the old school camera backup when we were looking at these accidents. Unfortunately, my ticker did not want to cooperate tonight and give me camera control. So we can switch cameras, but we cannot pause them and move them forward without you seeing it, unfortunately. So we do apologize about that, but overall, been a great race. We are going to come to 8 to go as we cross the start-finish line here very soon. I do not believe that we are going to be done with the wrecks. I believe we're going to we see a lot of side drafting, a lot of door-to-door banging. Really been a nice aggressive race. You would not expect anything else from, you know, a group of drivers that do not necessarily know each other. You do not run with each other every week, and everybody wants to represent their league well and drive hard. And mistakes are going to happen, and then sometimes you have netcode and you have just some hard racing. You do have Mars 1 and 2 with Nate and Austin, so they are still going to be able to control both of these lines, and you know that they're in the chat counting each other down when it is green. Time to go green. And unfortunately, we have, as I look back through our scoring, it looks like we are going to have only 17 trucks that are going to be on the lead lap. Again, we started with 34. We are now down to 17 on the lead lap. Might be 16 now, as Brandon Sanfilippo is now going to go a lap down. So 16 trucks on the lead lap. However, if you are still laps down, that does not matter, because if your truck is in good shape and you can push one of your teammates to a win, that's what you're out here for. It doesn't matter if you're 2 laps down or you're on that lead lap. What matters is how your league finishes. So let's stack them and rack them up again. We've got Mars 1 and 2, and then we've got a ORL driver in Christopher that's going to be in 3rd. I do not see another ORL driver out there that's going to be in that lead pack. And then you have 3 SSR drivers, 4th through 6th. And then you've got 2 front row drivers, 7th and 8th in Ronnie and Tanner, and 9th in Tyler. So you've got those front row drivers coming back together now, which is great news for them. And you breathe a little bit of life in those front row guys, and they will be hooked up running that top line. So very interested to see what's going to happen. Looks like you got some guys trying to get back to that pack. I believe they're going to have plenty of time to get back to the pack here and get in the draft. This is what the drivers are going to see. They're going to see this yellow flag in the air, and it is going to switch over to green, maybe for the last time as they take this green flag. It will be 7 to go. 7 to go in this inaugural race, league versus league showdown.
Green flag, green
Here
flag.
we go. We are green flag. Mars guy's going to get a fantastic jump. Are these SSR guys going to try to team up? It does not look like they are. It looks like the SSR driver is going to stay on the outside there and push and help push that 81 truck. And they're going to go 3 wide here early. Looked 3 wide and backed out of it, thought better of it. Front row, that 69 truck with another shot out of a cannon run on that high side. And I believe he's going to make this one stick. He's going to slow down just a little bit, waiting on that 44 truck to join him. 44 truck's going to give just a little bit of bump before he goes into that turn. Back off of him just a little bit. 26 truck looking to push that 81 to the lead. He is all over the back bumpers. You can see those trucks wiggle coming to this start finish line. We are 6 to go. 6 to go. '26 truck all out of control getting into that turn. 69 truck still looking on that high side. 26 is going to block him and going to leave that 81 truck out to dry. And now you can see 26 truck is going to get hung out to dry as well, as you've got these front row drivers, and they are door banging through the turn, and that's going to get that 39 truck loose. He's going to come right back up the track. And that is the big one, folks. That's going to be the big one.
Everything good?
I believe we're going to see, unfortunately, we are going to see some major tight door banging and racing here. I think you have this Austin, this Brandon Massey driver's going to come through here, and they are going to door bang and beat and bang, and it looks like that is going to create that wreck. That is going to take out a lot of trucks in that field. I mean, we can go back through this, but my goodness, that is carnage. So it looks like we're just going to move right back up here. Looks like this 26 truck right up against that door. 81's going to push it. 39's going to come up the track. It's just so loose, so hot, so loose. He's going to come up the track. He's going to make contact with that 26 driver. 26 is going to move back up the track as the 39 comes down. He's going to turn that truck hard right and get hooked. And when he gets hooked, this is a wide open that just smashes that 81 truck. And I feel like we definitely need to go in the cockpit of this 81 truck, and we need to see this. We can see this happening as they're 3 wide. I mean, just out of nowhere. Just out of nowhere. And that is just going to collect so many trucks. It has been a wild, wild, wild race. Unfortunately, I only see, oh, we've got a couple of other trucks starting to join here because we've got 2, 4. I only see about 7, 8 drivers in this lead pack right here. This, I think this front pack, we are going to see right at 13 drivers as it stands right now that are on the lead lap. Actually 14, because Brandon Sanfilippo is now going to get that lap back. Let me run down where each of your favorite leagues are racing here. So we've got leading is SSR with Joe Hudson. Nate Lee and Mars is going to be second. SSR is going to be third and fourth. Front row is going to have 5th place with Tyler Honeycutt. 6th is Mars. ORL in 7th. Front row is going to have 8th and 9th. And then your top 10 is going to be rounded out by an SSR driver as well. So looks like we've got pretty good representation here from everyone. Looks like front row with a really taking another big hit there on that wreck. It looks like it caught quite a few of the ORL drivers as well. So we'll see how this thing shakes out. It has been an event. And as we look at this, if you've got first and third, the 26 truck and 29 truck are running first and third, you're probably going to call that lane out, as it looks like he is going to stay down at the bottom. Call that lane out so that you two can fire off at the same time and try to control those lines coming to. We are not going to have a whole lot of laps. You got to watch that front row. It looks like that 69 truck is now out of the race, which was the one that was really driving a lot of those great 3 wide runs at the top lane right up against the wall with some of his front row drivers. But you do have that 46 and that 45 truck, 42 truck of front row still in it. 49 truck of Tom looks like it is in much better shape than what it was. You do have Mars in the 36 and the 40 truck right there as well, along with ORL in that 82, that 90, and 88, all in this pack. So Still a lot of things that can happen as they come down. You can see how thin this field is starting to get. We do have one green, white, checkered. So if this does not go green and we have another accident, which this has been a wild one, so that's quite possible, you will see a one single attempt at a green, white, checkered. We have another ORL driver that's going to join the fray, and we'll have time to be caught up to the back end of this pack. And here they come as we look down from pit road. You can see that pile of trucks coming back in here. We have 3 to go. 3 laps to go when they come here. It is going to be 2 to go. We've got the green flag in our hands. Again, here comes the pace car down pit road.
Green flag.
And we are green. That is a fantastic start by that Mars driver on the outside of Nate Lee. You know that first and third knew when each other was going to start, and we've got some moving and shaking already. This now is just about where do you finish. 29 truck's going to get a little bit loose. 45 truck's going to be on the outside trying to push. He does not have any help. Now you got a front row driver. We got another wreck in the back.
Caution.
Caution is going to come out.
Give me your temps there, bud.
That is going to give you Mars in first and fourth, SSR in second and third. We are going to fire this up and go back. I did see that, I believe it was the 49 truck, get caught up in that as well. So we're going to kind of try to go back here and see what happened. Looks like, let's go over to the 82 truck. You know what? Let's go in the cockpit with the 82. All right. I believe we need to see something just a little bit different because the 82 truck might have gotten moved by his teammate here. A really good push. And that would be the 90 truck. And I do not see the 90 truck on scoring. I do see the 90 truck on scoring. So let's go into the cockpit with the 90 and see if this is just a offline push. Looks like it is. He is just going to hit him in that left rear quarter and send him straight up into that 42 truck. And then it looks like that 42 might not have liked what was going on there. We're going to go back and take a look at it. So that 42 truck is going to get pushed up the wall. And I am not sure that that 42 truck appreciated getting put in the wall there. And go on board. All right, let's go back up to your leader. See where we are at. And what the game plan is going to be. Let me stack this back up for everyone here. We are going to have Mars in first, SSR in second with that 22 truck. The 45 truck of Steven Johnson in front row has made their way back up to third. Joe Hudson in SSR is going to be in fourth. We got the second Mars truck in fifth with Brandon. SSR truck and Ira in sixth. Front row, Tyler Honeycutt in seventh. Brian Zimmerman, I'm not sure what Brian is in the 43 truck. And I believe that is also going to be front row. Is going to be still out here on the track. And then SSR Brandon Sanfilippo is going to be ninth. And ORL is going to round out the top 10 in Casey. And that's going to be that 82 truck. So it looks like we are going to give this a shot at a green-white checker. Again, this is going to be the one and only shot at a green-white checkered finish. You've got a good mix of 3 different leagues up here at the front. I know that they are talking to each other, thinking about what they're going to do. How do I get with my teammate? If I am Mars, how do I get that other Mars truck up with me? If I'm SSR, the same thing. SSR is going to start nose to tail. If I am front row and I'm that 45 truck, that 46 truck is one truck behind me. And if we can get together, we can get to that outside and get a run going. And it looks like we are going to rack them back up side by side for the next caution or flag we'll call this race. Again, this is the first race of our league versus league showdown. It has been a wild one, chock full of wrecks, accidents, door banging, rubbing. It has been a fantastic show that these truck drivers have put on. We are going to do this four more times, and then we are going to crown a league champion. And again, it's going to be the top 4 finishers from each one of these leagues are going to generate the points. So really, again, it's not about the win, the loss. It's not about who wins it, who comes across the start finish line for your team, as long as it is your league that comes across the start finish line. Make no mistake, people, we are going to see another wild finish. There will be some more action as we come to the entry to 3. Just to let everyone know, it looks like we do have 11 trucks now that's going to be on the lead lap. So just 11 out of the 34 trucks are going to finish on the lead lap, and you're going to see this nice and calm before the storm. You can start to see them start rumbling off of turn 4 now. If you were not sweating before, you are definitely sweating now. You are talking to your teammates. You're gripping that wheel just a little bit tighter as he's going to grab this green flag. This is it. This is your last shot to make history. Your last shot to be the first league to win the inaugural race here at the league showdown. And here we go. That Mars team is going to get a fantastic start. You do have 3 SSR trucks right there. If they can stack up, front row might have found each other. They have now lined up and found each other. That Mars truck was looking to block that high line. There will be a caution. Same fuel. I believe we have seen a caution, and I am not certain where that caution was. Let's see if we can go back and find it. Here it is. It's going to be in this second pile of drivers. We're going to come back here, and let's see if we can find out what this is. Looks like we might have a couple of ORL drivers that have gotten into each other here. So let's see if we can find out. Here we are. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like that 84 truck is going to be the truck that's going to get turned. Let me see if I can find that 84 truck on the scoring. Here we are. And we are going to come up. Let's try to do a view like this. 84 truck with heavy damage, right or left front fender is going to be off of that truck. And looks like he's just going to come down, clip his teammate here, and turn that truck in front of 2 other ORL drivers. Oh, that is going to take out that 30 truck and several more. Then we're going to go right back up here to live action, as it looks like that might have been it. Looks like we are going to see them, I believe, take the checkered flag here for the 36 truck, and Mars is going to Nate Lee, one of the front runners all night long in this wild and crazy race. is probably going to come across and take that checkered flag and be able to celebrate with his team. Morris is going to take this first one. You've got William McKellar, SSR, finishing second. We got front row with Steven Johnson in third. They are going to be the three drivers we are going to try to pull into this booth and talk to. And then you are also going to have Joe Hudson in fourth, Ira Kohlhaas in fifth. So those both are going to be SSR drivers. Morris in sixth. Brian Zimmerman, I do believe that's a front row driver, is going to be in seventh. Front row is also going to be in eighth. And then you're going to have ninth as the SSR truck and Brandon Sanfilippo. And then Casey Gross is going to come in for ORL in 10th. So that's going to be your top 10. Let's pop it up here on the big board for you to see. And as you do that, everyone, what we are going to do is see if we can find out if we have anybody that has decided to pop into our waiting room. We do not yet. We're going to see if we can pull those drivers up here. Again, here is your top 10. Nate Lee, William McKellar, Steven Johnson, Joe Hudson, Ira Kohlhaas, Brandon, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. I apologize. Brian Zimmerman. I'm going to say Puffenbarger. I am going to try to pronounce it. Let me know if that's right. Tyler Honeycutt, Brandon Sanfilippo, and Casey Gross is going to finish out your top 10. Yes, Russ, congratulations to Mars on their inaugural race win. Really great, fantastic day for them as we are going to pull this back out and let them party. As he is going to try to cut the number one into the Daytona infield. So great job by him. Fantastic job. Looks like we have all three of our drivers. We're going to start from third and we're going to work our way up to the top. So let's see if we can move. Let's see if we can move him into the booth. All right, that was a wild and crazy race, but we are going to start talking to our top three drivers, and we're going to start here by our third place finisher, and that's going to be Steven Johnson. Steven, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Oh man, I'll tell you, a lot better in the booth, and I'm sure that you were sweating in your race seat, my friend. This was really we had a race before, but this you would call our inaugural race for the league showdown. Walk me through it. It was crazy out there. It looked like it was a blast, but it looked like there was some door banging and some drafting. How do you think your race went?
Well, from my perspective, it looked like it was incredibly entertaining, and everybody's pissed off at each other, which is just going to make the next couple of weeks more entertaining. I was just trying to go out, keep the truck clean, have fun, kind of run up in the front, and just kind of stay out of trouble. I got caught up in that big mess. Got most of the truck fixed, and just was trying to set myself up for an opportunity at the end, and then the caution came out and kind of ended a little premature. So unfortunately, we didn't get to get it green all the way to the finish, but the truck ran well. Overall, it looked like a lot of fun. Hopefully, we put on a good show for the fans.
Oh, it was a fantastic show, and I could tell you one of the things that I thought was really impressive from the front row drivers, and really it was kind of led by that 69 truck, but really the ability to put it up there right up against the wall when you had those good strong runs and put those trucks three wide, and it looked like you all really worked well as a team. Would you say, Stephen, when we look at these and you hop into these chats with some of these drivers you're competing with every week, is it a different dynamic? Do you have a lot of fun being able to talk to some of your competitors as now their teammates?
Yeah, because I mean we're every week we're trying to go out and beat the people we're running with, and then now here we are all trying to work together, and it's it basically like a almost like a foreign entity kind of unites your drivers together, and it's kind of fun to be able to kind of just work together, and again it's just trying to have fun, put on a good show, and hopefully we did that tonight for you.
I think you did, and Certainly we all want to see these leagues really compete for all five of these races. We have four left now, but win, lose or draw, I'll tell you, front row put on a hell of a show tonight. And Stephen, I'm going to turn it over to you, sir, and let you give your shout outs.
Shout outs to y'all for putting on the broadcast. Can't wait to go back and watch it. And the league owners just kind of getting it together. Like I said, it's such a neat concept to kind of get a bunch of the great drivers from each of the leagues together and just kind of throw them all out on track and see. It's we're not racing for money or not racing for anything. It's just bragging rights, and that's quite frankly that's all we need.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it, Stephen, and you have a good night and make sure you go back and you guys got a lot to be proud of. It was a fantastic race tonight, and we certainly appreciate you coming out and putting on a show for us.
Appreciate it. Let's talk soon.
Yep. Thank you. All right, there was your third place driver. I will tell you, they put on a great show, and sometimes it's not a matter of where you finish. It is just the fun that you had there, and I can promise you that he had a lot of fun. So now what we're going to try to do is bring up our second place finisher, and that is going to be someone from SSR, and that would be Mr. William McKellar. William, you got a copy?
I got you. You got me, John?
I've got you, man. Well, I'll tell you, that was a wild one. It was fantastic up here in the booth to call it. I think one of the things that I seen early on is you got some front end damage early on, and looks like you rebounded from that. But talk me through it. How was it in this pack? It looks like it was just absolutely crazy racing tonight.
It was definitely absolutely crazy tonight. I was talking there with our race winner there in the waiting room, and it just tonight was a night we put a whole bunch of people who don't race together frequently or maybe ever, and we put them at quite possibly the track that everyone wants to win at the most, Daytona. And you pair that with it's a Saturday night. We're doing this for fun. Some of us, I'll admit, I may have had 2 or 3 shots of Jack before I sat down.
Yeah.
So, I bet you just about everyone else on top of this, maybe coming out here, maybe they were enjoying something, but we're all out here having fun. I had a blast. That front end damage, oh my God, the truck was running so hot there for so long. I had orange and red gauges flashing at me there for about 15 laps. I'm like, man, I got to get down pit road or I'm going to blow up. And thank God we got the caution when we did, because I'd have blown up right in front of the field.
So let me ask you this, and I seen that you come back and you were able to get it fixed. And one of the things that I noticed was, and that I thought that all of the leagues did really well, was really just team up. And I thought there was a lot of great camaraderie, and there must have been a lot of great discussions in each one of your voice chats, because I seen SSR drivers trying to find SSR drivers, front row drivers, ORL drivers, Mars drivers trying to find each other. It looked like Mars was 1, 2, 3 for a long time, with about 25 to go till about 15. Did you have conversations on how we're going to break up this stalemate at the front of the track?
We were absolutely having that conversation. So I've done a lot of super speedway racing. I think at least in by way of the SSR league itself, I've established myself there at the super speedways as one of, if not the guy to beat. And Mars was doing exactly what I've seen in every super speedway league I've ever run in. They got 2 guys up top. They got 1 guy on the bottom, and they just controlled both lanes, and that drives everyone behind them absolutely nuts. I mean, I know that we were telling each other, just push him, just get him out of the way, just get him clear of them, and we'll figure it out. And we just never really could get them clear of each other. But I could tell these guys know how to super speedway race. They're going to be difficult at every track like this that we go to.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I hope you all, William, had as much fun as we did watching it, and as I did broadcasting it, because it's just like you said, it's Saturday night. The lights are on. Everybody's a little happy. We get to Twitch, and we get to broadcast this race, and we get to watch it and call it and have some fun. I hope you and your teammates had a blast tonight, and I'm going to turn it over to you, man, to give you your shout outs, and we appreciate you all coming out, and great job on a second place finish.
Yeah, absolutely fun. Definitely looking forward to the next one. I really hope that everyone running this is just had as much fun as I did. Got to thank my wife, obviously, for letting me do this. Got to thank all the league owners for coming together, putting this on. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing it if y'all didn't think it was, didn't come together and think we could make something out of it. I got to thank you for going ahead and calling this from the booth. And most of all, I got to thank God himself.
We appreciate it, William. And again, congratulations. It looks like SSR had a pretty good night here in the top 10. So great job to you all. And we will catch you on the next one.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you. All right. So there is William McKellar that has now finished second in the inaugural league showdown race. So great job by him and his teammates. But now it is time to pull up the man that has moved his league into the history books as the first league to ever win one of these races. And we're going to try to pull him up right now. And Nate, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Nate, so a crazy night. I really, I think I said it a couple of times on the broadcast that you were up front all night. It seemed like you were one of the drivers that were up front all night. You had the pole. Like it seemed like you had a really good grasp on it. I thought Mars, had a great game plan nearing the end of this race. It looked like you were able to control both lines. But man, this was a wild race. Walk me back through it.
Yeah, at first we didn't know that there was going to be points given out at the end of the stage, so I started like 24th or 25th, and then lines got checked up, got to the front, and we just were able to stay up there. We had a really fast car, and it was unfortunate a couple of our guys got taken out, and everybody's mad at each other, but you know what, it ended up turning out good in the end, I guess.
Yeah, it did for you, and again, I saw you up there leading a lot, and like I said, I thought that that Mars really had both of the lines under control, and I'm sure there was a little bit of fighting going on, and a little bit of what the heck you were doing, but I can tell you from the booth and sitting here watching it, it was a blast. I mean, I haven't seen people side draft so tight in the truck so early on before, but it was beating, banging kind of fun. And this was kind of a little bit about survival. But walk me back through that last start, because you had a couple of SSR drivers that were nose to tail in second and fourth. What was your game plan on that last restart?
Well, I looked over, there were 3 SSR cars, and then we had a front row car behind myself, and then there was another Mars. So I knew that if we kept going, I was going to have to eventually get in front of them, or they were going to win the race. So I just got in the restart zone. I was hoping I could catch that SSR car off and jump early, but he didn't. He did a really good job, and then I just waited right until the guy behind me was there, and we took off, and then the caution came out, and we were just barely still ahead in turn 1. Ended up getting the victory.
Well, I will tell you this, you will go down in the history books, my friend, as the first person to ever win a League Showdown Series race. So we're going to turn it over to you, Nate, and let you give your shout outs. I tell you, just from a broadcaster and part of SSR and one of the owners of one of these leagues, I want to say, man, I can't thank you all enough. I know there were wrecks, but that's to be expected at Daytona, but we were 34, 35 trucks strong tonight, and I can't wait to see the next 4.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting somewhere other than a super speedway. Hopefully we can keep 34 or 35 trucks on the lead lap, and everybody can battle it out there at the end instead of having 14 or 15 cars. But I'd like to thank everybody at Mars, Brandon, Austin, everybody who was there at the end. You guys for putting this on. This is a lot of fun. I'd like to thank them at Cody, Set Up Shop, for everything that they do for me. And I'd like to give a shout out to my wife and my mom, Kristen, for watching. I appreciate everybody.
All right, man. Well, you have a great night. I'm going to bump you back down to the waiting room. Don't party too hard. It's Saturday night, and we might not have to go to work tomorrow. So congratulations on your win.
All right, we appreciate it. Hope to talk to you guys again soon.
Yep, absolutely. And there was your race winner, Nate Lee with the Mars team. And I'm just going to pop up before we get out of here. Let me toggle this off so that everybody can see. That is your winner from the Mars team, Nate Lee. And then you've got William McKellar, Steven Johnson from front row, Joe Hudson, Ira, as you can see here, going all the way down to your top 10. And we are going to go from 11 through 20. Johnny Barker, Austin Smith, Lance Bratlinger, Kyle Wellman, Ronnie Morrison, Christopher, Mike, Brandon, as you can see all the way through 20th. James McCrae is going to round out your top 30, as a lot of these drivers here took some early damage and really sat out the rest of it, and were probably just spectators at that point. So again, this was one fantastic night. Again, this was our inaugural race, and I got to tell you, there were some fireworks. But this was absolutely fantastic. We will have 4 more of these races, and again, this is going to be the first Saturday on the next 4 of each month. We will get those dates out to everyone, and we will get the tracks that they are going to be racing at. So again, for everybody at this league showdown, we want to say thank you for tuning in. If you have not, just give us a little follow there on Twitch, so that you know the next time that we are going to go live and we're going to broadcast one of these things. Again, thank you very much, everyone. Have a great night.